Brambro here with some Grand Tactician Civil War CSA campaign in the 1.06 beta. And if I'm counting correctly, and I think I am, this is episode 30. And we're in the opening stages of the campaign season of 1862. We're in May. Talked a little bit in the last episode about kind of what the general plan is across the theaters for this stage of the war. Don't want to talk too much about that because we've had like several episodes over the winter of campaign map stuff, and I think it's time to have a battle, and we're about to precipitate one right here. The ultimate near-term goal is to push McClellan out of Grafton. I want to bring another corps over to Marietta to help Beauregard do that because McClellan's army is pretty big. As a prerequisite, I want to chase this force, which is the West Virginia militia under Winfield Scott, away from Hillsborough to open up the Ohio Valley completely and to open up this rail link here. I think that will give us the freedom of maneuver and probably the logistic capacity to bring another corps over here. So right now we are going to attack Winfield Scott in southern Ohio. And that's going to be Albert Sidney Johnston's army. So let's start get these guys moving over here. There's Hardee's corps here. We'll put him about like so. Bring Hill's corps up. I'm going to go ahead and lead with Hill's corps. He's slightly, just so that both corps should be in the battle. But I'm going to lead with Hill's, the idea being he'll actually be the first corps on the field. And they haven't had combat yet. So I'm going to get him their first combat experience, and Hardee's, well, they're about the same size. They're pretty close. And also, at the end of last episode, the newly established 3rd Corps of the Army of Northern Virginia is on its way down to besiege Fort Monroe, which actually has a garrison of 6,000 troops, so that may actually get a little hairy. We'll see what happens down here. A.P. Hill may need to make more than one try at that. If it wasn't for this blockading fleet here, I would maybe form up a naval force to soften this fort up a little bit, condition-wise. But if I were to try to do that, I think we'd just wind up in a naval battle instead, with a fort involved, and weird things happen. I've seen strange things happen to fleets right in this Hampton Roads area because of battles and these fort. There's our Fort Norfolk here, and there's the Union Fort Monroe, and I think that their combat zones probably overlap in here. Just weird things happen. Fleets disintegrate in this area when they really shouldn't. And I think that has to do with retreat pathing and forts. And anyway, I'm not bringing naval forces to help with Fort Monroe for that reason. Yeah, let's turn the front line filter off. Well, you guys gonna move? There we go. There we go. The siege has commenced at Fort Monroe. Let's just go have a quick look at that and see what the game thinks that our chances are. Oh, thinks we have a good chance. Nice. When we take Fort Monroe, there's an added benefit that Benjamin Butler will be freed up for command. An AI Union might put him in charge of a field armies. That's probably good for us. I don't know. Sometimes I think Butler kind of gets a bad rap. He actually did some pretty good stuff very, very early in the war, depending on one's perspective. Butler moved out very quickly, right at the beginning, before Bull Run, and made sure that Maryland did not secede by this. He took some troops, went to Baltimore, and ensured that Maryland stayed under Union control. Which, if Maryland had seceded, just look at the map, that would have been an enormous problem for Washington, D.C., obviously, isolated. So Butler did that, and, Butler did capture New Orleans. I mean, Farragut really captured New Orleans, but Butler was there. Okay, alright, I think Hardy's close enough. Well, let's just move him up a little bit closer. Make sure he has a really quick reinforcement time. That's fine. Alright, Harvey Hill, go attack Winfield Scott. I don't care if you worked for him during the Mexican War. Go get him. I don't know if Hill did or not. I don't know what Hill did in the Mexican War. He is in defensive mode. We will almost certainly have an attacking situation, and he'll have engineering points, so probably going to be looking at some parapets. And his force is much larger than it was the last time that we faced Winfield Scott. And this time, he's even got some guns. Okay, so here we are. This is going to be the Battle of Hillsborough, and we've got over 40,000 men against 19,000, but as I said, this will almost certainly be a defensive situation. It will only be 4 hours for Hardee to get onto the battlefield. Projected here. We'll see what it actually is. Those numbers can change slightly when we get in there. And this says 9 hours until Johnston gets there. Nah, he'll be there from the start. Okay, so I'm going to pop into the map and see what the objectives are, where the entry points are, what kind of situation we got, probably do a little bit of deployment, that sort of thing. And I will be back. Okay, so this is what we were dealt. Battle of Hillsborough. It is a meeting situation. There is only one objective, and it is the O'Connell Place, which it assigned to our control. So this is really a defensive battle. Which, even though we have a large number of troops compared to the Union, that's not terrible for Hill's Corps because, A, we are fighting in Ohio, and so the Union have a fighting spirit advantage from that. And this is Hill's Corps' first combat. And so the Federals are starting with a higher morale than us, and it should be noted that that combined 52 morale for the Confederate side is an average between Hardee's experienced corps and Hill's inexperienced one. So the morale within Hill's Corps is actually probably a hair lower than that. So letting them have a defensive battle in here, if it gets to that, is not bad. That said, Hardy is arriving in, let's pull up the order of battle. Hardy, tooltip says, scheduled approximately 2 hours, expected to arrive from west, which is in fact our entry point right here, west. So Hardy's going to show up very, very soon, right on Hill's left, and he can cover this area in here. This is the federal entry point here. It's the only one I see on the map. And we do have kind of that little flat spot right in here in our deployment zone, indicating this is where the two deployment zones butt up against each other. So Scott is starting somewhere in this area. I've got the Cav out forward as far as I could put them, and Maryland Stewart and McCulloch are going to ride out here and catch sight of them as soon as time starts rolling. Okay, so that's basically the setup, and I'll cut back in when we see which way the Federals are going, even once we catch sight of them. You know, from up here to the objective, which is what they're going to try to go for, there's multiple routes that are somewhat reasonable. They could come due west through here where Stewart is now, and then down along this river road. They could kind of cut down this way. There's some forest tracks kind of through this area that they might use, so they may come in kind of this way. Or they could just come on south and take this other roundabout route, which is a little bit longer. However, I mean, that's a reasonable route too. I don't know which way they're going to go. And that's why I set up kind of back here closer to the objective rather than pushing the guys right up to the deployment zone. Because if I'd put the whole Corps up here and then they ran down this way, well, then that could get messy, and then vice versa in the other direction. So that's why I kind of set up a little line back here close to the objective. Okay, I'll be back when there's a little bit more to show. Okay, Maryland Stewart's Cav has come up here and caught sight of Scott's forces, and yeah, so it looks like they're coming down this road, but then making this right for them. And so it looks like they're taking this forest track route toward the objective and toward our position. So overall, I think our position's okay. Probably just need to, I think what I'll do is move Smith's division. This is Evan Kirby Smith. Kind of over in this area. May get him start building some breastworks, and I may move the artillery back just a hair, maybe about on this very slight crest right here. Okay, so that's how the initial stages appear to be shaping up. I'll be back. Okay, it's now 8 o'clock in the morning. Hardy's Corps has not yet arrived, but literally probably any minute. Cav's been sitting here and they're watching most of Scott's army just come on by right down this track as predicted, and the lead element, which is this cavalry brigade, is now coming to range and artillery is about to open up on them. Meanwhile, looks like one of the federal divisions did come all the way down this way. This brigade just now came into view. So it's kind of looking like Kirby Smith's division is going to have a hot time of it. I had them start building some breastworks. I do not know if they're going to get done with those in time. And even if they do, well, they're still vulnerable to this flanking attack over here. So I've already told who is this? Patton's division told them to pull out of their position over here on this side of the creek, and I'm pulling them back to here at the objective, mainly so that they can use the road to come over this way rather than coming straight across. And that's where we're at. Time rolling. While I'm thinking about it, I want to point out a little bitty mechanic that I never knew about, and I bet other people don't either. Let me just pause just for a second. Down here in the lower right, the time compressions. So you've got the regular speed, you know, real time, 1x, 2x, 5x, and 10x. What I didn't know until just now, well, yesterday, these aren't the only time compressions available. So you can click on these, but you can. There's also a key binding. The plus and minus keys also speed up and slow down time, and they do so with more increments than what is shown here. So right now, so I'm going to press the plus key. There's 1x. I press it again. That's 2x. Okay, it's lighting up red. I need to press it 3 more times to get through 3x, 4x, and 5x. I just pressed it again. So we're at 3x. That's why there's nothing lit up in red down there. Press again. 4x. Press again. Now we're at 5x. So there's more increments available. I never knew that. I knew about the key binding. Let me slow that down a little bit. I knew about the key binding, but you know, I'd press it once, I'd get my 2x, and then I'd press it again and nothing would show up, and I couldn't remember what. Well, that's why. Anyway, I didn't know that until just now, and I bet other people may not have known that either. Okay, so we've got artillery firing at this cav. That's good. And all 3 of them. These are all Napoleons, I think. They are. Brass Napoleon, or bronze. I should look that up. I don't know if those are brass or bronze. Oh, here comes... Oh, we got some big names over here. There's Hancock, there's Buell. I don't know why he's coming out in front of me instead of right into the flank, but there he goes. Okay. Patton's pulling back, so he'll be able to come over here fairly soon. I think I saw the message. Yeah, Hardy's Corps is starting to show up. I'm going to try not to use them. I'm going to try letting this be Harvey Hill's fight. His guys need some experience. Every infantry brigade in Hill's Corps is armed with Springfield rifle muskets. Yeah, okay. Not able to finish his breastwork, but it's getting a little bit of cover from what he has built. So that's all right. Ew, skirm's already got driven in. Yeah, Lane might have a rough time of it from that artillery. It's kind of strange. It's showing a short firing arc. He is at long range, but he's obviously able to fire just fine. Oh, okay. That was just... That firing arc was because he had skirmishers in front of him, and they had been blocking his line of sight, and it had not updated yet. That's why it showed so short. He's taking some fire, but he's also firing back. Let's go ahead and see if he can put skirmishers. He may not be able to put skirmishers back out. There we go. Okay. Let's get skirms in front of him. There we go. So they're actually going to take the... Well, they're so close, any artillery fire on them is going to affect the brigade, too. Let's just go ahead and decouple Maney's skirms. Let's get him firing on... that artillery as well without blocking the line of sight of Lane's skirmishers. Artillery continuing to working on these troops over here. I think that's fine. You know what? I'm going to bring one battalion over this way. I'm going to counter battery those guys. So I'm going to detach Vaughn. Okay, and then I'm going to limber him up. Bring him over here. Right, let's bring Patton kind of over this way. Let's just put him here for now. I think I mentioned this in a previous campaign, but not real recently. This particular Patton, George S. Patton Sr., this is the World War II general's grandfather. Lane's doing okay there. Okay, that horse artillery is starting to waver. As soon as he's driven off, then we'll work on the... Well, this is an infantry detachment that is, I think, grabbed some guns. So I guess without noticing, one of a federal battery battalion probably already routed there. Okay, Patton's coming over now. Things are looking all right. Just going to kind of position Raines's brigade about like so. Bring Walker over a little bit this way, since his division is kind of stringing out to the right. Same with Hill, for that matter. Come on over this way. Harvey Hill. Okay, now let's unlimber Vaughn. I'm not gonna give him the firing order because he might start chasing that unit if it retreats. So I'm going to just give him counter battery, and he should fire at this artillery. Okay, so that's good. Lane's got a little bit of artillery support now. Good deal. That's not what I meant. Here. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's get all these skirmishers firing at that detachment. I guess there was only one infantry brigade coming down this flanking route. May have been overkill to bring Patton down here. I'm just going to bring forward one. May not even do that. I think I'm just going to leave Hardy where he is. Well, except for the artillery. Let's bring this Hardy over here. I bet they can find shots from kind of in this area. Where is Hardy himself? There he is. Let's kind of bring him to here. Alright, so the Cav, so all those guys have gone past. I don't think he needs his scouts anymore. Let's bring the Cav kind of over this way. He may be able to sneak over here and take care of that artillery unit. Or not. There's a brigade there. So this brigade's kind of isolated over here. Oh, somebody moving forward. These guys are kind of asking for a flank attack from Walker's position. Walker's division. Okay, I think I want this battery off of counter battery. Let's get him firing at these fellas. Okay, lane skirms need to come in. So do Manny's. There we go. Alright, what's going on over here? Cav coming forward. Okay, let him. Hancock wavering and falling back. Cav comes forward and dismounts here, okay. Crutchfield. Rifle's taking a little bit of fire. He's doing okay, though. Looks like both of these artillery are focusing on that cav. Okay, these skirmishers got driven in. Fair enough. How are these skirms doing? They're getting a little toasty. Go ahead and pull them back before they break. And I feel like we're doing okay. Well, maybe not. Catterson coming up on our right. Their left. Oh, goodness. Well, I did not expect that. Oh, broke him just in time. They just took some canister in the face at like 5 yards range. Whew. Way to go there, Crutchfield. Nice job. Artillery's shifting their fire. It's looking good. Oh, these guys are making a move. Coming forward. I don't know why Rains isn't firing at them. There they go. There he goes. Okay, this cav is... nope. Okay, that cav's wavering. Ah. Polk's artillery is coming up. I don't know if they're really going to be able to get shots over Rain's brigade. I'm not going to move him. Some limber them one at a time if they show up. They may get shots, they may not. I don't know. Okay. Those guys are broken. These guys are falling back here. For some reason, Maney is having some morale issues. I don't know why. This may be a Kentucky unit, but let's get him turned around. That's better. There are, I don't remember which ones are which, but there are some Kentucky brigades in this corps as well. The first ones that I recruited from that state, which has a lower state support than the others. It's not bad, it's just not as high as everybody else. 69. Okay, enemy retreating. Let's just go ahead and pull the skirmishers in. The skirmishers really aren't usually very helpful during the retreat phase, for whatever reason. Right, let's get this cavalry working. That may have been premature. Hancock isn't broken. That might have been a bad idea. What? Who? I didn't realize Lane had taken that many losses. Okay. Now he's at like halfway through his loss resilience. He's still firing. I don't know if I'm really going to advance him though. I think Mania will be alright now. Let's go ahead and advance him on the 2nd Brigade here. And let's just get Walker's division doing a general advance. Not a retreat. Why is that happening? Okay, what about you? Still firing. Let's have Fagan come out to here. Okay, range should be able to advance now. He's facing the correct... Scene is facing the correct direction. Stewart may be about to get in some trouble here. Got the cav weapons. Mixed cav. You know what? Stop. I don't want you doing that. Stewart, stay here. Okay, Lane, keep the fire up until he breaks. Got artillery support. And Patton pretty much did nothing in this battle. I'll tell him to advance, but I don't think he's going to catch anything. Okay, this brigade is broken. Balled up. That happens sometimes in this game. I don't know why. Let's go ahead and have him dismount. If they had repeating carbines, I might leave them mounted. Okay, now let's get them in loose order. I think that's a much better posture for them to meet that unbroken brigade. I'm not going to mess with Lane's brigade anymore. They've taken the brunt of the action. We'll leave them alone. I don't know if Polk's guys are going to have any shots. We're going to at least unlimber them just in case. We've only got 21 minutes remaining. They have taken enough casualties. We're at major victory as it is. 23% casualties. We did take 1,400. About half of that is concentrated in Lane's brigade here. I don't want to press McCulloch up into Hancock's brigade. I don't see any reason to take casualties. And with the mixed cav weapons, just keeping himself out of trouble is fine. Okay, managed to catch a little bit of artillery here. Just broke. Makes them abandon their guns, and so that's more guns that we'll be capturing out of this. That can't be a bad thing. And there you have it, the Battle of Hillsborough, major victory. Did lose a couple guns, not nearly as many as he did. Almost 5,000 casualties for Winfield Scott. 1,400 for us. Okay, let's have a look and see if we captured anybody. Probably not. Yeah, no prisoners taken. So, no opportunity here to check and see what's going on with the POW camps. They're going to stay at 0. Fairly well distributed. No, I mean, Patton didn't do anything, but Walker's division, 1,600 casualties inflicted, and 1,900 from Kirby Smith's division over on the right. Patton didn't do anything, and neither did Maryland Stewart. That's the Cav. That is a pretty good number of casualties inflicted for artillery in Grand Tactician Civil War. And that's because, you know, they charged, that Cav unit charged on, not charged, but advanced multiple times on Raines's brigade with the artillery right in his flank. And they probably were able to deliver some canister there, and then that other cavalry brigade came right into and charged the artillery directly, and it was looking real bad, and then at the last second they took a bunch of canister. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the artillery in this battle. That's unusually high for this game. Nice. Okay, let's exit out then, and we'll have a look at that siege over at Fort Monroe before I end the episode. Pretty good first combat for Harvey Hill's Corps. Okay. I mean, it's kind of cool that Hardy got some fame. Hardy was the unengaged corps. Unless Polk's battalion managed to get a couple pot shots during the retreat phase. I didn't look to see if they did. Why is Hardy getting the fame? Harvey Hill should have gotten that. For that matter, the artillery commander, Duncan, in this case, that would have been a really good candidate. Okay, we picked up 33 artillery and almost 2,700 small arms. Hopefully they're not mixed muskets and 6-pounders. And 0 captured. Yeah, okay. So, well, Scott may just retreat as far as Chillicothe. That's the closest IIP. So we may have to go push him out of the way again. However, well, we'll just see what happens there. Come over here and have a look at Fort Monroe. Is this still in our favor? It is. Hasn't really moved, but at least it's still in our favor. These first couple of brigades up here, they have dropped. You see, most of them are eager, as they should be in Virginia, or confident. These guys are down to stable. So we do have morale dropping in engaged brigades. Kind of thinking about, if this were a smaller fort with a smaller garrison, I might just go assault. But with over 5,000 men in there, I don't know how that would turn out. Fort conditions down to 62. Let's just let it percolate. Let the armies get disengaged over here and then see which way Scott goes. Hill's a little bit depleted on ammunition, but not oh, good. He's going up to the north. Okay, that's our funding 2 that I was working on, and as discussed in the last episode, I am proceeding straight to conscription. To get all of our contract lengths extended, I don't want to actually use draftee troops, at least not in the field armies. I may put some fort garrisons or something from draftees. And it's not just the contract lengths. We also get speed of replacements plus 50%. So that's helpful as well. And with where we're at 100 national morale. At this state, that national morale cost for enacting conscription is negligible. Now, if we were hovering down in the 60s or something, just a couple of points above the Union, that would be a different story. But we're not, so that's fine. Okay, so really it just comes down to which corps do I send over to Beauregard, and I guess I'll send. It doesn't really matter. They're about the same size. Only because Hardy's got a tiny bit more ammo and slightly fewer wounded. I'm just going to send Hardy over to Marietta. And I'm going to let him use either rail or river, whichever he thinks is faster. You know, it looks like this IIP is probably still Union because of its proximity to Columbus. How's this depot look that we just captured? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. Nice. And for some strange reason, we're not drawing from it. Let's see. Oh. How did this get turned off? Oh, picking up some supplies there. Some Union supplies. Captured. Okay, well, probably because this IIP was Union, didn't have full control of the railroad, and that's why Hardy is not using the railroad to get over to Marietta. Yeah, okay. I don't want to go up and take Columbus. Jeez. So maybe we're not going to get this rail link for the infrastructure, but the river should be solidly Confederate now. And that is a supply conduit as well. Okay, we've run a couple of days. How are we doing in the siege? Yeah, it's ticked a little bit further in our direction. 72% probability. We're losing some morale, but so is Pierce's command. They've come down. They've actually gotten more men since the last time we looked. It's just replacements coming in. I think during sieges that replacement trickle keeps going. We're up to 5th. Something is getting blockaded that was not getting blockaded before. It's not sticking out at me. We went for a long time with 14 ports getting blockaded. Oh, it's Hampton. Because Hampton has flipped Confederate due to AP Hill being here. That's the 15th port. Okay. I think that will do for this episode. A successful battle in Ohio. Road open to Marietta, so we can move against McClellan soon. Siege going well, it appears, at Fort Monroe. If you like what we're doing with the channel, like the stuff, like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. But at any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.